Hello, YouTube. We're back with another episode of Real Talk Therapy. Of course, trying to figure out different areas and different ways of how I want to film and present my content. So, on this good old Friday, last day of the week, getting prepared for your wind down, whatever it is that you may be getting prepared to do. I myself getting prepared to go into the office today. So wanted to get this content out, before then and get my weekend and everything started. So, of course, today's shirt, Real Talk Therapy, creation by my husband. Of course, in my favorite colors. Anybody who knows me knows, at this point in my life, I have become a sneakerhead. So, y'all see my shoes? I'm into, I don't know. I ain't got it together right quite yet, but I'm into Vapor Max. And so, Coach, I accessorize everything I wear, carry, and do with Coach. So hopefully, here soon, I can get Coach to sponsor me, because my plug, aka my husband, my Coach plug, he spent a lot of money with y'all on me because of my addiction. So I truly have just about everything Coach. So for today's session as well, I do want you guys to know that I do take notes. I do write out things, and I do try to be prepared for what I'm going to talk about and where we go. And as I started looking back on some of the content that I put out, I'm like, man, I'm so excited to be doing this that I get all over the place. And so today I wanted to stay focused on this lesson or this session, conversation, intervention, you'll hear me call it all kinds of things, but mainly the coping skill that I want someone to be able to take away from today's session as we're talking and going on. And so it's Figure It Out Friday. And sometimes when we're trying to figure things out, we don't know which way to start. We don't know which way to go. And so one thing about providing therapy, mental health treatment, substance abuse treatment, sometimes people rely on their higher power. And like I told you guys before, I'm not here to tell you who your higher power should be or what your higher power should be or none of that. I'm just here to share with you how my higher power got me to a place to be able to deliver all these things that are in this head so that you can start working on yourself, that self-preservation, self-love, setting boundaries for yourself, healthy boundaries, all of those things, so that you can find yourself in better situations than you are in now, or than what you were once in. And so today's topic does come from the Holy Bible. Again, please don't not subscribe, listen, or talk because you don't have any type of Christian affiliation or that's not your belief. Because believe it or not, some of the things that you can share with me would be helpful as well. Like I said, I'm diverse, so I'm open to learning everything, but I can only share what I know and what I've experienced. And one of my favorite things or favorite parables in the Bible is the woman with the issue of blood. And we know in Leviticus 15:25, it talks about when women are unclean and they've given birth or they've been on their cycle. And if you bleed past your menstruation cycle or your period or whatever you want to call it, you were considered unclean and you weren't supposed to leave out of your house, go around people, or do any of that stuff. And so Leviticus, of course, is in the Old Testament. So when you get into the New Testament, and I'm coming from Matthew 9:20 with this, and I'm reminded of a few years ago, I'm under the leadership of someone and they tell me, oh, you come in here looking broke down, you look tired, you look stressed all the time, you don't know what you're doing, you remind me of the woman with the issue of blood, she was so broke down, this, that, and the third about this particular woman. Well, what this individual didn't know about me was that I know that book. Probably know it better than some preachers and teachers and scholars and all of those things, but I'll digress on that one. But I know the Bible. I can't always tell you where stuff is, but I know it. I've been going to church my entire life. I mean, my mama had to go to church when I was in the womb, so I've been going to church all my life. And nonetheless, this particular woman, Jesus is going back and forth. People are pulling him this way, that way. There's crowds. There's this ruler whose daughter is sick, and he's heard about Jesus, and none of the other doctors, he spent all this money, and none of the other doctors could come and heal his daughter. So in the same scenario, you got this woman with this issue of blood. Now get this. The Bible says this woman was bleeding for 12 years. Y'all, I won't try to bleed for 12 hours, let alone 12 days or, 12 whatever. But this lady was menstruating for 12 years. And the caveat of this story is the ruler, the Hasididi person, the person with all this money, the person who probably had prestige in that community, this particular person had, they had the money or whatever, but the daughter that he wanted saved was 12 years old. So now the same way that this ruler, this man that's high in status, that knew everything, but he couldn't figure out how to keep his daughter from dying. He couldn't figure out how to save her. So his last result was, it's all this noise out here about this guy named Jesus. They say he healing the sick. He doing all this stuff around town. Let me go find him. And in the midst of this big crowd, you have this woman. Now, a lot is not said about this woman other than she's had an issue with bleeding for 12 years. And in my mind, I would like to think that she too had taken everything that she had. If we talk in modern day, let's say she didn't have the money, but maybe she had Medicaid, or maybe she had Blue Cross Blue Shield, or maybe she had some money under the mattress. I don't know. It doesn't say how old she is. No, none of that. But I do know that when you're bleeding like that, you're very weak. You lose, you don't have a lot of energy. You're not able to do a whole lot. You find yourself, fatigued. And I can only imagine what was going through her mind. There had to be some anxiety there. She had to be worried about what's going on with me. Am I losing so much blood? Am I going to die? She had to be depressed because the people in the town telling her, you unclean, boo, don't come outside. We don't want to be around you. You got to stay where you at. So she had to be going through all of that stuff in her mind. But the same way that this ruler with this 12-year-old daughter heard about Jesus, this woman's trying to figure out, how can I get rid of this bleeding? And in my mind, I like to imagine that she too went to all these doctors, went to all these places, or called on these people to come to her, and nobody could help her. But she too heard about this man. Now, nowhere in the Bible does it say that either one of them were Christian or believers of Christ or belonged to this denomination or went to this church. The Bible doesn't speak on that. It speaks on two people from two different sides of the track, two different statuses in life, one considered a ruler and one just considered a woman with an issue. But they both heard about a man because they couldn't figure it out any other way. So now they both developed, some type of faith to try to go push through this crowd and get to this man. So as the ruler is getting to him and said, hey, look, dog, I need you to come go with me. My daughter on her deathbed, I need you to come save her, and help her. In the midst of this person in high status having Jesus's attention, in that very moment, this woman who was considered unclean, who had an issue for 12 years, And I like to imagine the issue of blood can be whatever we have been dealing with and turning over and been in turmoil with and fighting with and not knowing what to do and not knowing where to go, not knowing how to figure it out. So your issue of blood could be anything. But this woman in despair, beat down, I know she was tired. She had to be weak. We don't know anything else about her. But this woman who wasn't even supposed to be out in the crowd, please catch that. She wasn't supposed to be out in the crowd. This woman said, I'm going to go find this man too. And when she went out there in the crowd, she concealed what was going on with her so well that the ruler is face to face. He got Jesus' attention talking about his daughter. The woman with the issue could only probably get down on her knees, y'all, and go through this crowd and reach and touch the hem of his garment. So the hem of this shirt is right here, And some versions say that, she didn't even touch it. It was just, it went by and it grazed her. I don't know what happened. But I know she summoned up enough faith, courage, physical strength. She beat the odds. She figured out that if I can get to this man, maybe I can be healed. Because I done tried all this other stuff and nothing worked. Now, the ruler, don't forget, the ruler had Jesus' attention. And so when the woman touched the hem of his garment, he stopped. He stopped. And the person with all this status, the person who tried to convince me way back when that you can't be nothing but what you are to me right now, so I need you to make my money. I ain't getting ready to let you think that you can go out here and do this for yourself. Because if I keep you bogged down in this issue of blood, if I keep you discouraged, if I keep you from discovering who you are, you won't have enough strength to go try to figure it out. Jesus turns away from the ruler and looks at this woman and said, go away, my child, you have been healed. Instantly, he knew that someone who had been considered unclean, the last had to be placed first, because that was his purpose and that was his mission. Now, he didn't ignore the ruler completely. He went back to the ruler and he said, okay, after he told the woman, go away, my child, you've been healed. Now, mister, take me to see your daughter. She ain't dead, she's just asleep. I'm going to get her for you. But I had to show you that just because you got status and just because you got this knowledge and you done did all this and did all that you ain't doing now, okay? I'm getting ready to deal with this person who didn't know what else to do other than to fight the crowd and touch the hem of my clothes. She ain't make no scene. She ain't push through the crowd. She ain't try to be seen. She ain't holler. She ain't do none of that. She ain't do none of that. But she figured out if I could get to him some kind of way, I gotta be healed because I've been hearing these great things. And so I say this to say to you all today, throughout this week and throughout the course of Real Talk, we all have an issue, whether we've been dealing with it for 12 years, 12 months, 12 days, 12 hours. We all fall short and we struggle with something. So when you reach that status, when you get there, instead of trying to hold somebody back, help lift them up. And if you see them and they don't know how to figure it out, instead of trying to be, the ops or the hater or whatever, be a cheerleader and help them get up and figure out how to get around this issue. Just like this woman that struggled and wrestled with that thing for 12 years, I'm here to tell you, I still wrestle with stuff on a daily basis. But I came up out of the pits of depression and I started trying to figure it out. We have to be able to come up out of some of this stuff by ourselves. There isn't going to always be somebody there to help you. But I also want to tell you, if you have somebody there to help you figure it out, you better cherish that, and you better take good care of that support, that helpmate, that person that God sent to you. Because if you forfeit that, or if you mess around and miss that, you fumble that person, or you lose that person, or lose that opportunity, now you're back to square one trying to figure it out. And in order to know what it is and where you want to go in life, real talk, you got to figure that out. Can't nobody do it for you. They can help you reach the goal once you figure out what the goal is. So in these conversations, especially the ones that you're having with yourself, especially, I feel like I stayed way more on task today and I didn't get off, but write that stuff down. Read over it. Become so familiar with it that it flows off your tongue. Just like, I'm giving this to you off the cuff. And I guarantee you. Now, matter of fact, let me show y'all. Because I ain't want nobody out here. Let me show y'all. Notes. Major notes. But we ain't got to read from that when you've experienced it. And it's your experience. And it's your story to tell. See, it's a lot of y'all out there trying to tell other people's story, but you can't get it right because you don't know all the details. I'm going to say that one again. It's a lot of y'all out there trying to tell people's stories, but you can't get it right because you don't know all the details. And what you did know, you didn't even write it down or try to go back and confirm it or try to read over it so that when you go out here and tell somebody, daggone it, you know what it is that you're talking about. So, on this Good Friday, we're going to, get to a place of feeling good. You done made it through another week. I want you to figure out what you're going to do for your self-care for Saturday and Sunday, how you're going to maintain, what you're going to do to cope, how you're going to, reach these levels and do these things that you want to do, even if it's just coming out of your house after COVID. Because some people are still in their houses after COVID, y'all. Some people still scared to come outside. We all right out there for the most part. But I'm telling you, in order to know, you gotta do this work. And it's not going to be a good, comfortable feeling with this work. It's not. But you have to do it. That's just like if I call you my friend, if I call you my sister, if I call you anything to me, if we have a relationship beyond superficial, I'm going to be real with you. And if you need a day or two to deal with me being real with you, I got it. But if you can't handle me being real with you, and more importantly, if you can't be real with me, then we weren't what we thought we were to begin with. Okay? So some real talk. Everything requires us to do our part. So, with that, YouTube, I want to continue to ask you guys, please like, subscribe, comment, tell me some things you want to talk about, tell me some conversations you want to have, and if it's something that I don't know about, I know somebody who might know, so I'll start bringing some guests on so that we can talk. I'm still trying to get up with Lil Tucci because I want to have that session. So if anybody out here knows sharing this video, please let him know. Coach, I'm definitely going to start incorporating you more because I have more of this stuff than I know what to do with. So when we talk about addiction, I'm going to get to that because I got a slight addiction. But at any rate, want to make sure that, we're doing these things in a healthy way, because in order for our physical health to stay on task, we got to make sure our mental health is on task. So thank you guys for tuning in this week. Thank you all for the love, the support. Y'all continue to bear with me. I may do some more sessions back at the park. I may get back over there at my kitchen table, may go in my office. I don't know. But on my way out the door, this morning, I just decided to sit here, on the little couch on the way out the door. But either way, I want you to work on yourself. Do something for yourself, just for you. And take care of yourselves. And until next time, thank you guys so much for the support, the love. Continue to like, subscribe, share, comment. And if you want to order any of the shirts that I wear, or if you want to order a custom made shirt of a design of your own, you tell us what you want. We'll create it and take care of you. So just send me your information, send me a message, and check us out on Instagram as well. You guys be blessed, be safe, and be true to yourself. Real talk. And we're going to figure out how to do those things here on Real Talk Therapy. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.